Um, another interesting question as we transition through the docket that I got from Instagram. They was on one this past week or so. I'm not gonna lie, they had some great posts. Um, who would you choose to have an injury-free career? I know Miguel, you brought up did you bring up T Mac and D Rose? Were those your two?
Yes. Yes.
Let
On the
me
team, B. Roy and Greg Oden.
Yeah.
Ooh, definitely B Roy. Definitely
Yeah.
B Roy. Um, yep, B Roy's on here. Penny Hardaway, Derrick
Yes.
Rose, Gilbert Arenas,
Mhm.
DeMarcus Cousins, Danny Granger,
Friend
Grant
of mine said
Hill,
Grant Hill. Yep. I was just about to say.
Greg Oden, and Yao Ming.
Yao Ming, yeah, imagine out of those pairs, I mean, like, imagine Yao Ming and T Mac get to actually run one.
Rings. Rings.
The China experiment.
That's crazy.
It does sound crazy, but they did bring together the tallest woman and tallest man in China.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
that's fact. Like, that's for those that don't know, they said, hey, you too tall people. One shot policy. You only get one shot. Why not make an NBA player? Some bad knees.
Terrible knees. But no, I mean, I honestly, I'm not gonna lie. At least with the players we named, if I'm picking based off of who would have had like the best career, that's kind of tough. I
The
think I'm
youngest
still.
MVP?
I'm gonna say I think I'm still going Rose. Like it's not as much of a runaway as I initially thought, but man, if Rose doesn't have that injury, bro, because it wasn't like Chicago wasn't a championship team with a healthy Rose. Would have been rivaling Boston around that time.
And the
Yeah.
Heat.
And the Heat. Even
I
even
think
even even when they became the Heatles.
Yes.
Healthy Rose,
I know he would have attracted somebody up there.
should have been Melo.
I I think the most fun outside of T Mac, because that was one of my first ones, just because like he was rivaling Kobe. Like, come on. But if Greg Oden was healthy, if Greg Oden was completely healthy, that would have been that would have been the bridge of the gap between, I mean, from what we saw, that was going to be the bridge of the gap between bigs of Shaq and Giannis.
Yes.
Like who's scoring in the paint. That would have been, he was picked over KD. Like, imagine we get to see, what Greg, like the NBA maybe doesn't go to fully Stephen Curry league as quickly, because we're still bringing in some 7-foot white man from the boonies just to check this man for 13 minutes a game and give him $1 million a year somehow, some way. Timothy Mozgov, where are you? Where are you, $64 million man? Miles Plumlee, where are you, $64 million man? How in the world did those contracts go out at that time?
Bro, no, contracts were crazy during that time, bro. I remember that summer
4
when Mozgov got
years.
that contract.
4 years, $64 million for Timothy Mozgov and Miles Plumlee.
I think that's when they had that first like real big TV deal.
They were like, "Hey man, you're big and white. Come here, come on. We need you for critical bench minutes."
You remember the contract Tristan Thompson got?
Woo, baby. Oh wait, who was the first one? They were arguing about Mike Conley forever on ESPN. They're like, "Is he worth $150 million?" He was the first man. He's getting paid more than LeBron. This man, who Mike Conley is now. You do. They're trying to start a smear campaign on my man for some reason. First ever bilingual man in the NBA.
Bilingual.
Sorry, ambidextrous. Same thing. Lately got me messed up. Ramadan got me dehydrated.
Same thing is wild. No, but okay, we'll move on to the next thing. I think position wars is really interesting. For context, position wars is
that deserves a pause, baby.
yeah, had to throw that in there real quick.
Yeah.
for context.
Let's talk. We're getting into the dark days of the podcast.
Yeah.
So, whoa.
After dark.
Talk about after dark.
Number one, I got. Well, I was about to call a name I shouldn't be calling at this time. That'd be a terrible implication. She might kill me. All right.
Weird to me.
Oh my god.
Okay, anyway, so position wars for this episode of the Right Quality Sports Podcast is for the NBA position, so point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. Which position has the best list of all-time greats? Now, something I do want to add, because Gail, we already did top 5 players at each position. But I'm thinking about like how long does that list get per position of players who are still considered like greats, all-time greats. They just didn't make the top 5 list. Because, like, for example, when we were talking PGs, we said that 6 to 10 through PGs are still awesome dogs, but they just weren't top 5. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So how are y'all?
Just anti-vaxxers and woman beaters. But sorry, my fault. I just remember who was 6 and 7. Hold on, man. Hold on. Jason Kidd and John Stockton. Sorry, 6 and 7. Hey, power forwards don't got any better.
You're right. You're absolutely. I mean, you're correct.
Don't get me started. I already had that podcast. That was before Ashley got here. We are done with those days. But I was racking my brain, and it's hard because it's like, then you get it. So for me, what mentally I was getting into was like, okay, best players that have ever played the game. And like, when you think about it, it's like most dominant were probably centers that have ever touched the game historically. So they're the ones that like really impacted the game in some crazy ways. You get in power forwards, more of the same. I mean, like your top 3 is Duncan, Giannis, Dirk, and that other guy, maybe for some other people. Small forwards, you're getting like a mix of like, I mean, what? You got Bron to start the list. You got KD, a healthy T-Mac in one of my worlds. Like super highly skilled and also super sized guys where it's just like they could do it all. And even nowadays, like you could put Brandon Ingram in there. It's like he's a point guard in like the 90s somehow. And I don't know. Shooting guards, you get Kobe, Mike, D Wade. I mean, like the front line is stacked for them. And then beyond that, you get some volume shooters. But I think it's a bias question. Like for me, it's going to be point guards because I feel like they have the most highly skilled. Hold on, hey,
that's crazy.
What? No.
That's crazy how you work your way to that. That is diabolical.
So okay. Hey man, I'm ESP Gale.
Okay.
Hold on, hear me out though. Hear me out. So my thought process is like, if we're talking about like best players that have ever touched the game, point guards have had to do the most with the least for however long. So if we're talking about like who is the most skilled that has ever came into the game, like point guards probably the most. I mean, like you think about every player that's ever touched point guard, they're always like the best pound for pound players. Like what does that mean? It's like they were just like a super soldier that was like 5'9". Like, how did Earl Boykins touch the league? Like, my man had to have a cold pivot game or something. Like, and also right now we're in the golden era of point guards. That is what I'm also getting there, where it's like we are only getting to a point where point guards are becoming, I mean, a dime a dozen, but it's just because there are so many good point guards throughout the league. Like Mike Conley wasn't an all-star, referencing my man again. Forever he got one honorary one because like the West was so stacked of like great PGs that have ever touched the league. Like historically, like you got like the Big O, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul. No applause. Magic Johnson.
The Big O in position one.
Whoa! Time out. Time out.
You said it. You said it.
You said it though. Hold on. I'm just referencing big players. I could have said, man. Anyways,
This topic is dangerous.
very,
terrible.
very. God, man, if only John Stack. Oh man, I had a joke. I messed up his name. I can't even say it now. I gotta remake the joke. All right. Anywho, that is what I think. I think, if we're going position where it's like they were the most skilled, they have endured the most. Muggsy Bogues got called a midget. That is my king. I have to stand with them. All
My king.
Gil, hey, Gil, you all cap. I'm not gonna hold you. I ain't even finna entertain half.
Whoa!
Never talked about Muggsy at all. At least since I've been back.
Never brought up Bugsy Bowles. Earl Wiggins.
I know every word about. Hey, shout out Bucks legend. I know every word of. I wish it was taller. That was the. Hey man, yeah, I got pictures of. Shouts out my Latin League commenter, Manny. He's in the comments talking about my teammate, 1-4 representative. There's a picture of me graduating middle school. I am a full like half a body short of that man, and he is still the same height today. No shots at my teammate. I'm just saying like where we were. I was repping with my guys Earl Boykins and Muggsy Bogues.
Listen, okay. The realistic
He is not 6 feet.
Listen. The realistic answer to this question.
Oh,
It's shooting guards.
Or centers.
Okay. But like
small forwards.
The only reason I said centers was if you take each position, if you take the top 5 players, which position has the most players that are in top 10 conversations?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I thought you were gonna do the conversation of like if you had the top 5 of each 5, who's winning a game, and I'm like, who's beating Shaq, Wilt, Wemby,
Hakeem?
Look, Jokic running point. Look, Jokic running point.
You throw Wemby in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Already, that's it. Come on.
I could be convinced to go with centers.
I do think shooting guards are next though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well, are you taking those top 3 shooting guards over those top 3 small forwards?
Being
Yes.
Bron, Bird, or you putting Bird up? And then who's the third?
Well, KD. Well, yeah, Bron, KD, Bird. I mean, no order, just them your top 3, more than likely for small forwards. Versus
Kobe.
Mike. Well, yeah, Mike, Kobe, and D Wade.
That's stacked.
Shoot me.
Yeah, you're right.
My head, gun wins. That's not a choice. Who?
Ron, KD,
Michael.
Larry, Mike, Cole, D Wade.
I'm going with the shooting guards because I think they'd be healthier. I think Bird's back would get achy after a D-Wade crossover.
The shooting guards are better defensively.
Yeah, exactly.
As a trio.
But then you throw. I'm not even gonna do it. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna save that nonsense for next podcast.
The fact that you tried to argue point guards is crazy, and you didn't even throw out.
I didn't even
throw out the names you could have threw out.
He said Muggsy Bogues.
Whoa!
Personal. This was personal for you.
No, I'm going through. No, I'm saying, like I said, if you're seeing my thesis statement is like if you're going per capita, if you're going by every player that's touched the league, centers have been the biggest pile of mess that we could ever see as touch the league. We've seen so many. No, hold on. I'm gonna get my stuff off right now. Centers, like I said, we paid Timothy Mozgov $64 million. We paid Ish Smith hasn't gotten a real contract in his life. IT was shaded out of his Brinks truck deal after hooping for the Celtics and Danny Ainge and his slave owner ass. I gotta stand up for my guys. There's no way that PGs have gotten contracts that they've gotten, and they're letting every bum that's 7 feet walk in this league. We're talking about what unit has represent the NBA the best and who has came through with their suit and tie buttoned up besides AI. Granted, he's on a 2 list. Point guards have represented since day one. They've came through the most. If we're talking what category of player has been the best, if we're talking about position where it's like what top 5, y'all got me. Ain't no way that top 5 for point guards is saying any one of those top 5s. If we're talking what class of player has stood 10 toes since the day the NBA. Who's the logo? Is Jerry West a 2? Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Don't mind me.
We
But
we don't let Gail speak long enough. We don't just let him.
hey, because it's facts. Sermon's over. Talk to me about Dan Gadzarich and how name me. Oh, what? Come on now.
Gail, please.
Frank the Tank saw the league.
But title alert. Thank you for the title, Gail. Sermon's over. I like it. It's an option.
I like that.